What problems do Toyota Tacomas have? I know, that's not a Toyota Tacoma. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Robmotive. First of all, before we get into what problems Toyota Tacomas do have, let's address the car situation. If you hadn't seen any of my earlier videos, I'm away from the Tacoma right now, but the show must go on. That car that I showed in the beginning, it is a Mercedes E320, I think. It's a late model, something I'm driving while I'm away from the Tacoma on a little bit of a trip. But anyway, we're not going to get into all of that. We're going to talk about the Toyota Tacoma problems. What I did, I went out and I did just a Google search. And it always shows you all the things that people are searching for. So I thought it would be interesting to kind of run through what people are looking at as far as the problems that Toyota Tacomas do have. What to expect if you're going to get a Toyota Tacoma, particularly a late model Tacoma. Number one, faulty automatic transmissions in high mileage Toyota Tacomas. Now, if you have the manual, obviously this isn't an issue for you, but let's face it, the manuals are dying, unfortunately. Only about, I think it's 4% or something like that of people that buy Tacomas buy a manual Tacoma. So the vast majority drive automatics. What they say about it is the Toyota Tacoma has known transmission problems affecting the trucks that have logged anywhere between 125 and 150,000 miles. So quite a few miles. You know, if you trade every couple, 3 years or so, you're probably not going to have to worry about it, even if you're going from used to used, as long as you keep the model, or the mileage rather, numbers down. The issues prevent the vehicle from shifting correctly. I've heard a lot about this, even in the new models. People still complain about the automatic transmission and how it shifts. Never wants to ride in 6th gear, for example. Typically likes 4th gear. Also, they say that it's been reported mostly between Tacomas that were built from 1995 to 2015. This is where you have to kind of take it with a little bit of grain of salt, because like I said, there are still people complaining about these issues with as recent as the latest 2022 Tacoma. Next up, what Tacomas to avoid? People want to know, particularly in the market we're in right now, since it's difficult to get a new one, people are buying used, what model years should you avoid? And it's interesting, there are quite a few. Kind of makes you wonder, well, what years are left? So what is said is to avoid the 2006, 7, 8, 9, 11, so you can buy a 10, 12, 16, so 13, 14, 15 are good, and 2017. They say that there have been a lot of issues reported with the 2006, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 16, and 17. Mostly transmission issues again. Not that there's anything really wrong with it. It's not like it's going to die on you or something, but just not the satisfaction that you would think you'd get from an automatic not having these shifting or gear finding problems. Next up, why you shouldn't buy a 4-cylinder Tacoma. Now, this is all kind of personal preference, I think. I wouldn't buy a 4-cylinder Tacoma because I simply prefer a 6, particularly in a truck. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there that like the 4, and that's cool. If you like that, then you're golden. But it says here, reasons not to buy a 4-cylinder Toyota Tacoma. The cons. The Tacoma's base 4-cylinder engine may not have enough muscle for some truck enthusiasts. And I would agree with that. I've driven 4-cylinder trucks. They seem to be a bit underpowered. That's until you throw a turbo into them. Then they get a little bit better. And that's what we're going to have with the redesign when it ever comes out. They say acceleration will be slower than average, and it's only rated to develop 159 horsepower. That is really low. 159 horsepower in a truck just doesn't have enough oomph for what you would expect. And I am an acceleration junkie, you know? When I hit the gas, the accelerator, to take off, I want it to go. I don't want any lag, get the Sprint booster, and I don't want to sit there waiting for it to wonder what it's supposed to do. Next up, what is the most reliable year of the Tacoma? Now, this is important, obviously, if you're in the used market and you're looking to pick something up that you don't want to have troubles with, pay attention to this one. They say it's never been known as a quiet or smooth ride by any means, but the durable truck, they call it, retains its value as the years go on. We all know that. I think the Tacoma is the #1 or #2 best value retention vehicle you can get. I think it kind of goes back and forth with the Jeep, strangely, as far as retaining value, not durability or reliability. It says the best rated Tacomas from the first generation include 2000, 2001, 2003, and 2004. So really, this is looking at the first gen Tacomas, the ones that we go way back for. And I really like those anyway. So not bad years to buy, coupled with the other ones that I mentioned that don't show up in the least reliable category mentioned earlier. Next up, how long will a Tacoma last? Well, there's a few things that kind of determine this, really. Most of it is care. But it says here, expect your Tacoma to run a minimum of 200,000 miles. I'm embarrassed to say I've never had any vehicle that I've even gotten close to that on. It says with adequate care, or 300,000 miles with excellent care. They say a recent survey found the Tacoma to be the 3rd longest lasting truck overall. You might wonder then, well, what are the top 2? Well, the Toyota Tundra in first, and then the Honda Ridgeline. I think it's great that it's another Toyota product, right? The Tundra is #1, the Ridgeline? Some would argue that's not even a truck, but that's a whole different video, which I've probably done. And then the Toyota Tacoma. Next up, the truck wars. Is the Tacoma better than the Ford Ranger? This one, we're not gonna like this. It says better towing, more torque, and higher fuel efficiency are what make the Ranger's EcoBoost engine outperform the Tacoma's V6, offering 7,500 pounds of towing on every model. That's every model of the Ranger. The Ranger has distinguished itself as the best in class for towing. If you tow. I mean, I don't tow, so for me, that's irrelevant. I care more about the durability and the reliability, which is the Toyota Tacoma. Next up, and this goes back to transmissions. Are Tacoma transmissions good? See, people ask a lot about the transmissions. The Toyota Tacoma has one of the worst automatic transmissions out of any Toyota model. Its manual transmission makes the truck a lot more manageable, but it is still far from perfect. The automatic transmission can slip, causing an incredibly frustrating driving experience. I would argue with that. I've never really noticed that in any of my automatic Tacomas. I've never been frustrated with the transmission itself. The lag, yes, but not the transmission itself. Next up, which Tacoma engine is best? Again, personal preference. While neither engine option is impressive, they're really kind of down in their description of the Tacoma. The V6 is the better of the two. It helps the vehicle accelerate a bit quicker. Well, obviously, it's a 6-cylinder versus a 4, and unlocks the Tacoma's highest towing capacity. Back to towing again. And I guess if you're using a truck as a truck, towing is important. Lastly, the last one that we're going to mention, why is the Tacoma so popular? I have my own theories on that. We'll get to it in just a minute. It says here, over the decades, the Tacoma has been building a strong reputation for reliability, durability, and high quality. Being a top contender for that long isn't an easy accomplishment. Of course not. You know how the buying public is. We're fickle, right? Obviously, the Tacoma brand is known for its reliability. That's what they're attributing the popularity of the Tacoma to, is its reliability. I would say, for me, yeah, reliability is important. If it doesn't run, then it doesn't really matter, right? But the modability of it. There are so many mods and things you can do to it. Plus, it's an awesome looking truck anyway. So, just wanted to run through those. Those are a few of the problems that the Toyota Tacoma has, according to research on the web. Anyway, leave a comment. Let me know if you've ever experienced any of these things or if you agree with this. I'd be curious to know. Also, real quick, I do have 2 additional channels. Robmotive JT, all about Jeep Gladiators, currently the Jeep Gladiator Mojave, and Robmotive MT, all about mini trucks or compact trucks, currently the Hyundai Santa Cruz. Check them out, and if you're interested, why not subscribe? Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.